day. And this one actually involves sports. So I tied it all together.
All right. Let's see. Let's see what's going on with Miss Faith and her keeping the faith.
Faith.
Okay, what
Okay,
do you have for me?
so this NBA star always dreamed of being a teacher, so students in Brooklyn got the substitute teacher of a lifetime. For most basketball players, making it to the NBA is the ultimate dream, but Brooklyn Nets star Michael Bridges?
McCall Bridges,
McCall,
yes.
okay. McCall Bridges has another dream as well. My other dream was being a second grade teacher, the small forward told CBS News. I think just helping the kids has always been a big thing of mine. Why second grade? Because I loved second grade when I was young. He said, I feel like that was one of the years I really remember just having a great year. I had a great teacher named Miss Porter, and I just feel like I always loved second grade. Growing up in Philadelphia, Bridges was inspired by Miss Porter to follow that dream. He got to do that this month, this happened in March, so last month,
Hmm.
at PS 134 in Brooklyn, where he worked as a teacher for the day. The Nets got in around 1:30 a.m. the night before after beating the Cleveland Cavaliers 120-101. The player had a long night, but he was committed to teaching those kids. Their energy was just like, what you got me going so fast, they got me excited, Bridges said. He started the day playing basketball in gym class with fourth graders. The 6'6 player who was drafted in the NBA in 2018 organized a game of knockout for the kids and answered their questions. One student had a question that surprised him. How do you incorporate your personal life with your professional life? He said, I like that question. He said, it's not that bad, actually. I think the biggest thing is time. In season, you don't have that much time because I travel a lot, but I have been in it about 6 years now, so I found a good balance hanging out with friends and relaxing and preparing for the games. Her next question was, if your family comes to your games, do they get free tickets? His answer is yes. Another question was, why didn't you be a teacher if you wanted to be? He responded, because of basketball, but basketball doesn't go forever, he said. This is just the first part of my journey, so I think teacher is going to come up next, trying to do both. After gym, he went to the first grade music class. They were teaching me on their little xylophones. I didn't know what I was doing, what the teacher was teaching. He said the kid next to me was pointing on the board, follow that, follow that. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Many kids seized the opportunity to tell Bridges they too play basketball. On the playground at recess, they marveled at how tall he was and once stopped their ball game to ask Bridges for a hug. At lunch, he answered the first grade's riddles, and then he taught his favorite class, math. That's where perhaps his inclination for teaching others began. Math came easy to me. I feel like I was probably one of the smartest math kids in our class, he said, adding that when he was a kid, he helped other students. I'll try to teach them like, oh, this is how I learned it this way. It was pretty simple to me this way. Just think of this way. The kids couldn't get enough of their temporary teacher, Mr. Bridges, and while meeting an NBA star is a kid's dream, meeting these students fulfilled a dream for him. A lot of days we're in school, he said, and we're with our teachers, and I think they just don't get enough credit because we're around them a lot, and you know what I'm saying, and they help us become better people every day, and I think some are overlooked a little bit. Bridges said he hopes to become a teacher or even a principal after the NBA. So, cute little story.
Actually, that's a good story.
Cute
Okay,
little
that's a
story.
good story. Now, the first thing that popped in my head, and I will talk on Mikal Bridges in a second, but
Hmm.
do you remember second grade? That's a grade you
I
skip
remember.
in my head.
I
I think
remember
of
second
first
grade a little
grade.
bit. I remember
Really, see, I think of first grade, fifth grade, middle school is just one whole clump, and then your high school years.
I
That's kind of the way I
remember.
look at it.
I remember bits and pieces of my second grade because I loved my second grade teacher. So, Miss Sue.
Nice. Yeah, do you talk to any of your old teachers?
Yes, so my parents actually teach in the county that I went to school at. So, and it's a very small county. So, my parents are actually like friends and work with some of the teachers that I had growing up as a
Oh, very
kid.
good.
So, like, Yes, I still talk to some of my elementary school, middle school, and high school teachers. So yeah.
Okay, so I said most people do not. I still, Miss Kulicki, I had her for third grade and fourth grade, and then my sister had her, my cousins had him,
Mm-hmm.
my nieces, everyone in our families had her, and
Mm-hmm.
so she's become like a family friend
Mm-hmm.
that everyone loves her.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, from a small town, she's one of the most beloved teachers
Mm-hmm.
in our town. So still stay in contact with her and things. But when I am outside of my hometown, you don't see too many people that actually have stayed in contact with a lot of their
Yeah.
teachers.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just kind of curious about this. This is a good story.
Mm-hmm.
I like this because of the fact that sometimes people forget that athletes are people,
Yeah.
and athletes have other dreams outside of catching a ball, dribbling a ball, shooting a
Mm-hmm.
ball. And this is one of those situations where, yes, basketball is just one little small part of
Mm-hmm.
his life. Basketball is going to be one of the shortest parts of his life.
Mm-hmm.
But then having a plan of what he's going to do after basketball and wanting to be a teacher and give back, I
Mm-hmm.
think that's so important. Teachers don't get enough credit. You
No,
know,
they do not.
being a teacher gives you no street cred at all, zero. You know what I mean?
It's a
Him being
thankless
able,
job for sure.
right, him being able to be a teacher gives him that ability to, bring attention to teachers and kind of what they do
Mm-hmm.
and things. Not enough of these stories come out of an NBA player coming back to teach at a school for a
Mm-hmm.
day or for whatever time, or Jalen Rose starting a school for elementary and middle school kids, or
Mm-hmm.
LeBron James starting his school in Akron. There are tons of these stories out there, littered,
Mm-hmm.
where players have created programs for kids to get their education and give back to the community, and these stories are not covered.
Mm-hmm.
And so having something like this and talking about something like this, I think is just amazing,
Yeah.
and then kind of hearing what the kids are saying and all of that, I thought that was kind of cool. Now, with you coming from a family of teachers,
Mm-hmm.
how do like stories like this, are they even aware of like some of these things that go on?
My parents?
Yes, or just in general, the teachers in general. You grew
Oh,
up in a world where teachers are,
I don't.
you're around a lot of
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if
them.
they're aware of stuff like this goes on. I don't know. I mean, regardless, my parents love their job. They love those kids. My mom is a kindergarten teacher and she loves every minute of her job. Loves it so much.
Isn't your brother a
So,
teacher as well?
my brother teaches high school, I believe. Yes, my brother is
Okay.
also a teacher. And my dad was a middle school math teacher, but he's a middle school counselor now. So,
So I'm going to ask this question. Maybe you should be asking this on air. Why didn't Faith go into education?
because Faith was surrounded by teachers her entire life. And Faith saw all the negative things that come along with being a teacher, and the positives did not weigh out the negatives for me. So I did not become a teacher.
See, I think you'd be a cute, awesome teacher.
I have thought about maybe later in my life going back to school and getting a degree and becoming a high school English teacher because I love English, I love Shakespeare, I love everything like that. So I have thought about it because journalism is also a very hard, thankless job.
Ooh, yes, it is.
But teachers at least get paid summers off and some benefits. So
Yes.
I have considered it, but right now, it's a no for me.
See, I'd be like, either if it was me and someone asked me, okay, Tate, would you be a teacher? either I would go elementary school or I'd go college. I would not touch middle school and I would not touch high school
See,
at all.
I thought about being a college professor, but I did not want to go to school for like 10 years to get a doctorate. So
Yeah, I'm going for either. I got to
it's a
be a
lot of
college
money.
professor. Man, you know what I mean? There's a difference with when the
Mm-hmm.
kids get that middle school, high school age where they're kind of finding themselves and sometimes they think they have all the answers.
Mm-hmm.
That's a tough group to teach.
Well, high school was hard for everybody, and I did have a couple of teachers that helped me along the way in high school that if I
Hmm.
didn't have those teachers, I don't know if I would have made it in high school.
No,
So,
those teachers, I agree. Those teachers that are at the high school level, they have such a massive impact
mhm.
on your life, I feel like. But I feel like high school is the ultimate thankless job.
Yeah.
Especially with some of the parents. Sometimes people don't realize what
That
the
was
teacher goes through. What was
that
that?
was one of the negatives on my list was dealing with parents.
Yeah, it could be tough because
Yeah.
people look at their kid is becoming an adult,
Hmm.
but their kid is still a kid.
Yeah.
And so the parents still look at their daughter or their son as their kid,
Hmm.
where kids are thinking of themselves as an adult. And sometimes
Hmm.
parents can't believe my kid would never do this.
Hmm.
Somebody else had to have done this or something. He was provoked or things. It'd
Yeah.
be too tough. So changing it back to the original story of the thing back to Bridges doing this is it brings another layer to recognizing that an athlete's coming in. What impacts me is the fact that these kids will remember this forever.
Hmm.
I remember when we had an NBA player come and teach second grade for a day.
Hmm.
That's powerful.
Yeah, it
And so
is.
he's going to have an impact on those kids' lives forever.
Hmm.
You're going to be talking, kids are going to be talking about that for years to come. So I do like that story.
Yeah, and I feel like you don't really hear much about like what NBA players say they're gonna do after they're out of the NBA. Like I think, they don't really do anything after that. Maybe like start a business or some clothing, like Michael Jordan does with the shoes, clothing brand, whatever like that. But they don't really have to do anything, and I think a lot of them choose not to. And so it's sweet to like see that he's like, yeah, after I'm done with basketball, like I think I want to become a teacher or a principal even in education. I think that's so cute, so sweet.
Yeah, that's you know what? That's the thing. Not enough people talk about these guys, the schools that they start. There's a lot more to do things than you realize.
Mhm.
But there's the schools that are created by some of these guys. How they give back to the different communities, it's just not talked about. So I love
Mhm.
that this was talked about.
Yeah.
So this is an A plus keeping the faith moment. Give me faith in
Thank you.
the
Thank you.
NBA and their players a little bit.
Yeah. Alrighty, guys. Well, with that, we are going to close out our show for today. Thank you so much for tuning into the Andrew Tate Show, presented by the GSMC Sports Network. Your support means a lot to us, so please remember to subscribe to the show and leave a positive review. It really does make a difference. We also invite you to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram for more content updates. Thank you once again. Have a wonderful day, and we will see you tomorrow. Peace.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to